Is a veteran of the stage. He works at Broadway Comedy Club and Comic Strip. Please give it up for Steve Levy.
Veterans, another word for old fart. I just got back from Vermont, where my brother and I went cross-country skiing with our 86-year-old father. Thank you. It was really great. In fact, we plan on going back next week to see if we can find the old man. Hey, don't get me wrong, we spent almost an hour looking for him, but it got so cold. Listen, on a more serious note, you probably all heard about the Royal Caribbean cruise that hundreds of passengers came down with some kind of terrible stomach virus. Yeah, well, I like the fact that they're offering them a free passage on their next cruise. What did they give away on that one? Scurvy? A lot of things have been going bad lately. In fact, it wasn't long ago the world lost one of the great humanitarians of all time, Mr. Nelson Mandela. A man with great courage and dignity, a man who made enormous sacrifices so that his fellow countrymen could live in peace and freedom. A man who, in all probability, left the world a better place for having been in it. But, not too soon, huh? But I wonder how he was if he owed him money. I can imagine my guy could say, Mr. Mandela, I've lost my job, I've lost my home, I've lost my family. Could you possibly find it in your heart to forgive me and forgive my loan? I can only imagine a man like that would probably say, I want my money. I'm a powerful man and I have powerful friends, and if you don't pay me my money, you're going to have a powerful problem. So I wish I could, I just don't have it. That night, 2:30 in the morning, the doorbell rings. It's former President Clinton. He said, listen, Mandela called me, he wants his money. He's a powerful man and I'm a powerful man, and if you don't pay him his money, you're going to have a bigger problem than just owing some money. I said, Mr. President, please understand, I'm destitute and I just don't have it. Next day, I'm walking down the street and somebody taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, it's Mike Tyson. He said, listen, Mandela called me, he wants his fucking money. If you don't pay him his money, he's a powerful man, I'm a powerful man, and I'll have to beat the shit out of you. I said, listen, Mike, please, I'm broke. That night, 2:30 in the morning, the doorbell rings again. It's Miley Cyrus. She's staying there in some slutty outfit. She said, listen, Mandela called me, he wants his money. If you pay him his money, I'll lick your dick with my long tongue and I'll fuck the shit out of you. And I'd probably say, you want a check or cash? Anyway, I had the opportunity to chat with a few of you before we got started tonight. We're a really nice group. In contrast, the last time I did this, some jerk in the back yelled, don't give up your day job. Which ordinarily wouldn't have bothered me, but it was the club owner. As a matter of fact, I did go on a job interview recently, and the interviewer told me he was very impressed by me, and asked what I consider to be my biggest negative. Well, I thought about it for a moment. I said, it's probably the fact I'm just too honest. He said, too honest? He didn't really think that was a negative. I told him I didn't give a fuck what he thinks. Also on the application was a place for age, so I just put down old. And I realized it was old when I saw that Life Alert commercial that the decrepit old woman says, I've fallen down and I can't get up. And all I could think about is, I could hit that. She's already there. But I'm okay with my age. In fact, recently I went to my high school reunion. Yeah, we sucked. There was only one table. A balloon and a ramp. But everybody did say I looked the same when I hadn't changed a bit. What the fuck are you laughing at? Yes. Which probably explains why I was told the most likely to get found dead hanging in a closet in a motel in Thailand. But at the high school, it was not a fun time for me. In fact, the very first day of school, I had a traumatic experience. Now, no disrespect intended, but you can't make this shit up. I was placed in the special ed class. The first thing that happens, the teacher handed out these cards that we had to write our name on, and as I was doing it, I looked around and noticed that everybody else was cheating. Then the principal came in with another kid and asked, was there a Steve Levy in the room, which suggested I must have been fitting in. I raised my hand, he took me outside the class and told me that a mistake had been made, that there were two Steve Levys, and somehow they crossed up their room assignments. Apparently they discovered the mistake when the Steve Levy in my class took a shit on his desk. Well, you can imagine my relief. I thought about it his too. Ironically, he headed up the development of the Obamacare website. So we have a few Republicans here. Anyway, it wasn't long after I got out of high school, I had another traumatic experience. I got married. But I gotta tell you, the relationship before I got married was really great, but all my married friends told me that if you think it's great now, when you get married, it takes on a whole new meaning. Yeah, it took on a whole new meaning, those fucking bastards. I remember the first time I asked her if I could go out with the guys one night, she said sure. She had no problem with that, it was okay with her. But she had to ask her pussy. I said, ask your pussy, what the fuck are you talking about? This is ridiculous. She said, well, then you do it. I said, let me get this straight. You want to go down there and talk to your vagina? She said, that's right. I said, you must think I'm a total fucking idiot. So I got down there. I said, listen, oh, the guy, going out. She was a rather large girl. Is it okay if I go out too? Well, I'm not going to rehash the entire vaginal conversation. But what I will tell you, I didn't see my friends for a while. Anyway, this took place a long time ago, and I want to go on the record right now is I don't talk to the vagina anymore. I text it. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Give me a second here. All right. Dear Snatch. That's what I call her. Is it okay if I go out with the guys after the show tonight? Happy face. Whoop, here's my response. Dear Tiny. Come on! Eat me, happy face. I'll tell you something, it just goes to show you that some things just never change. In fact, one thing that did change is when I was younger, I used to approach foreplay as if it were an art. Now the extent of my foreplay, I pull down my zipper. But I like to think I do with a flair. I go, zip, come and get it. You know, that's the same reaction I get. But I gotta tell you, as time goes on, you realize more and more that feeling young has nothing to do with down here. It's all up here. The idea is not to think about the things that you could do back then that you can't do now, but think about the things you can do now that you couldn't do back then. You know, like a fine bottle of wine, with age you just get better. Right now, my good friend Al Casey, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Listen, it's all over. The only thing I do better now is I piss a lot more. I tell you, I'm pissing so much, I'm off liquids. Now I just piss solid foods. In fact, the other day I pissed an entire rack of lamb. Oh, it hurt like that. It was so bad. It was bad. Just like that joke. Bad. All right, I gotta go now, but before I gotta go, I want to tell you that you really have been a great group, but when I say I gotta go, I gotta go. Thank you.